Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy and I'm gonna do my makeup. I like to talk about makeup panning, nail polish, and sometimes things happening in my real life. Today we're getting ready with me, and I was inspired to do this by a viewer who commented about blue eyeshadow being scary. So today I want to create a look for you that has blue eyeshadow in it, but kind of maybe tones it down and makes it a little more subtle and a little more wearable so that maybe you'll feel more comfortable. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, then hit the subscribe button and stay tuned. Alright, so when we think about blue eyeshadow in particular, a lot of us probably think of Mimi from the Drew Carey show, a lot of blue, or any other look from the 80s that is very over the top, very blue, very bold. But blue doesn't have to be bold. It can be subtle. So today I figured we would try and do something a little bit subtle. So why would this matter? Maybe you're doing a pan those eyeshadows and you get a blue. So I grabbed this blue palette here from Hershey's Kisses Glam Light. This has got some bold blues in it. Okay, so maybe you're doing pan those eyeshadows and you get one of these shades and you're like, I don't know what to do with that. It scares me. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna show you a way to make this look not so scary, hopefully. We'll see how it turns out. So let's start with, I've done my face and my brows because I like to do my face before my eyes, and my brows sit off my eyes, so without them I look a little naked. So we're going to start by putting down a base, and we're going to pair blue with brown. I was giving it away. So if you think about color theory, gonna get a little technical, blue is blue, and the opposite of blue on a color wheel is orange. So the darkened version of orange is brown. So we're gonna start with a little bit of brown. I'm gonna be using my Marvy Corn, and I'm just going in with a pale tan shade for the crease. Let's zoom you in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. How close should we get? Is this close enough? Okay, hopefully it is. And hopefully the resolution doesn't get too bad. You'll have to let me know in the comments if the resolution in the zoomed in version sucks. So, just going in with the shade Flotter here, which is sort of a mid-tone tan. I'm putting that in my crease and up on my brow bone, just to give me somewhere to start so I'm not going completely naked, and it'll help soften things up. Now you can do things differently. You don't have to do it like this, but this is what I like to do. That way I have something to blend into, but you can go in with a darker color and blend out with this around the edges. I've seen people do that too. It works quite nicely. I like to start with the light color as a base, and then I'm going to bring it down the outer corner of the eye just a little bit. Like so. Alright, so we're going to darken it up a little bit, and I'm going to go into the shade here called Savage, which is sort of a darker reddish brown, and I'm going to switch brushes into something that's a little bit fluffy but also flat, and Savage. And I'm just going to start on the outer corner and darken this up into the crease. So by pairing blue and brown together, you get something that's, even if you blend them one on top of the other, which I'll show you in a second, I'm just getting my palette ready, you'll come up with something more subtle. So I just have some of Savage, the brown, and I swatched that on my hand. I'm going to take another finger. I'm going to go with the lightest blue. It's nice bright baby blue. I'm just going to apply that right over top of Savage. Can you guess what color we're getting? It's kind of gray. If you can do gray, you can do blue and brown together. So what if we take that same color combination, Savage, well, same base, that Savage, nice and brown, and maybe we go in with this mid-tone blue down here. How will that look? Still a hint more blue because there's more blue pigment in it, but it's also more on the gray side, and it's not as bright as the blue by itself. So, if you have to do that. So we're going to try something like that, but we're also going to let it pop a little bit. A little bit of a pop of pure blue. So, back to what I was doing. That was just a little lesson in color theory. And the same holds true for any other color. So if you have a red and it's a little too bright and too punchy, mix it with a little green. If you have a purple that's too bright, mix it with a little yellow. So just going in, that hair is bothering me. It just didn't want to go back into my clip when I was putting my hair back because I just washed it and I don't want it in my face and I don't want to get makeup on it. And I'm bringing that brown down on the bottom. So the main focus right now is making a nice kind of smoky brown look. So I think that looks pretty even. I'm terrible. One eye has a weird, I think it's this eye, has this a slightly different shape to it, so it doesn't always come out quite as even. Okay, and then I'm just going to blend that out along the edges using the same brush that we applied the brown with, and just softly without putting any extra product. Okay, so I'm going to take the same brush and let's keep it on the lighter side. We're going to go with that light blue, the first one, the baby blue right here, using the same brush, and I'm going to dip into that. And we're going to start in the inner corner. And just applying that lightly to the base, to the lid. And just going out about halfway. You can blend it a little bit more than halfway if you want. So that color does not look as bright on my eye because I've already blended a little bit of brown on there. And I'm going very lightly, I'm just tapping it on. And if it's a very powdery, this is quite firm, but if it's very powdery, just, you know, tap the extra off. You don't have to have a bunch, but since this one is quite a tightly packed shadow, I'm just gonna go back in. And you can keep it really subtle if you want, or you can build it up and make it brighter. If you've been watching my channel for a while, excuse me, you probably know that I have no problem with bright eyes. Just going to tuck a little bit along the lower lash line. And over here. Like so. Now I look kind of like I have bruises on the insides of my eyes. It is what it is. So that's it, the basic thing. So then we can come back into our brown. Just going to wipe my brush off a little bit. And we can bring in a little bit more of that brown. Bring it in a little bit farther. Make it nice and smoky if you want. Now if you want, we can do a bold blue look, but we don't have to. But we're taking something that looks very bold and making it very not bold. Now you may be saying, well, what if you have a blue shimmer instead of a blue matte? We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Alright, I think that's good for the base. Let me take my fluffy brush that I started with and just make sure I blend around the edges, up on that brow bone, around the outside. Because the way my eyes are shaped, especially this one, I feel like there's like this one spot where I just, no matter how much I blend, I always seem to end up with a harsh edge, and that's just the way my brow bone is shaped, and I try to soften it, and sometimes I succeed, and sometimes I don't. Okay, so that is that. So now I'm going to grab my glitter glue, because I forgot to grab it beforehand, and then we're going to start with our shimmers and see what we can do with those. Okay, so I like to put glitter glue down to help my shimmers have a little more impact. Also helps keep them from traveling all over my face, because I have hooded eyes, and you know, they sometimes like to travel. Alright, so just putting my stuff there, and we're just going to pat it on. We're going to go all the way to the inner corner, and all the way out. I don't think I have a brown shimmer, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Alright, I like to use a flat brush to put on my shimmers, and then we're going to go into my blue palette, and we're going to take this nice bright blue, bright baby blue shimmer, and we're going to just tap that into the inner corner. Okay, so that's pretty intense. So if I don't want it to be that intense, I'm going to come in here, and I have this shade here, which is sort of a satin shimmer, but it's tan, so it's in the brown family, and I'm going to take the same brush, and I'm just going to tap a little of that right over the top of that bright blue. And can you see the difference? This is a little more toned down, a little more gray than the first eye. So do this eye. And it just takes that, some of the blueness away and makes it more of a silver. So maybe that's a little more wearable for you. And then I'm just going to bring in some of the dark matte, because I do have a dark brown shimmer, but I didn't grab it. So we're just going to go with more dark matte, and we're just going to pat that on the outer corner. And then we can go along the bottom lash line. Okay, so we have a blue and brown look. It's not too blue, in my opinion. I mean, maybe it's too blue for you. I don't know. Let me know what you think, if this was helpful or not. So, and if you want, you can even, you know, darken it up more. Wipe off my brush, and I'm just going to grab a little more of that tan and go right over the top a little bit more. And get the inner corner and that bottom lash line, because we put some blue down there, didn't we? Or I did. I mean, you may not have. You could be doing it with me if you want. Okay? And then I'm going to come back with our fluffier brush. Not the fluffiest, and we're just going to kind of go over the edge. And you can do a little sweeping. And this would work with a halo eye too. But so we've used some bright blue shadows, and we've paired them with some brown, just brown. One brown and a little bit of another one. So just so you can see, I'm going to swatch both of those blues. So those are the blues we started with. Very bright, but they don't look like that on our eyes. They're very nice and toned down and muted. So let me put on some eyeliner, mascara, and I'll be back to show you the finished look. Okay, and there's the finished look. I just put a little black on my upper lash line along with some mascara, and then on my waterline I have a little bit of platinum to tie into that silver, and I put a little bit just on the inner corners to make it pop and read silver a little bit more. So let's zoom back out, and there we have the whole look. I don't have any lips on yet, but that's it. So if you enjoyed this little color theory tutorial and want more, let me know in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see in one of these, I would appreciate that too. Would you like to see a look with a bold, darker blue? Would you like to see something that is more prominently blue but wearable? All those things down below. If you want to see a look with hot pink, let me know. I am not afraid of color, and I would like to help you learn to wear it better. So the lesson is, don't be afraid of bold colors. Just learn how they work for you. Don't be afraid to play and experiment and see what you can come up with. But that's all for now. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And like I said, leave me any comments or suggestions if you enjoyed it and want to see more. And until my next video, take care of yourselves, stay true to you, and I love you no matter who or what you are, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!